YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. We got Week 17 score predictions. Only 2 more weeks left. We got playoffs. We got score predictions in the playoffs, of course. Full coverage in the playoffs in the offseason. So join us, like, subscribe to your notifications. I mean, much appreciated. Recent videos, there's links to those pinned in the comments. Our Twitter's down there as well. Check it out. Live updates there. Here's our Twitter. A lot of updates, talking during games, polls, keeping you guys involved. So check it out. Let's get into these score predictions. So we got seeing which games are maybe worthy of putting money on here, taking a look at the spreads. But I got a lot of squeakers this week. This is not one of them. I got the Bills handling business here, 30-17. They are favored by a whopping 14.5, but I got them winning by around that range. I just think it's a bad matchup for the Falcons. The good thing is, the Bills don't get a ton of pressure on the quarterback. They're very capable. They're a pretty balanced defense. There's not really one spot where they're way better than the other spot. Kind of just a lockdown defense is how I view it. And the Falcons kind of mainly been struggling against the teams that just get straight up pressure, blitz a ton. The Bills can get pressure. They're pretty balanced across the board there on the defensive line, but they're not going to blitz them a lot. So the Falcons might score a little bit here, 17, but just not enough. The Bills are really kicking in the gear here offensively, and they'll have no problem. I think Josh Allen has no problem against the Falcons defense, but you never know. We'll see. We'll see if they're still moving. They're playing pretty well last couple weeks. So I got the Bills 30-17 here. Next game, Giants-Bears, I think a defensive game. I expect it to be Nick Foles, which is probably their best option to win right now, but their season's over. Maybe you want to put Fields in there if he's good to go, that is. Maybe if Dalton's good to go, they go back to him. We'll see. I just don't think the Giants have enough offense here, no matter who the quarterback is against. Again, I think Nick Foles is their best option to win, the Bears, that is. Both these teams, they're not good, but they both still got a pretty good defense. I like the Giants' defense a lot, and they alone could win them this game, create some turnovers. They just do not have enough on offense with Fromm or Glennon, whoever they decide to put in. They bench one, put the other one in. They bench that one, put the other one back in. It's a mess right now. So I'm going to take the Bears 17-10. Maybe the first time I'm saying this, but I'm going to trust the Bears offense a little more here in this one, 17-10. But again, the Giants defense has a shot to win that one. We got a squeaker here, Chiefs versus Bengals. Originally thought maybe both teams scoring in the 30s because they both got high-powered offenses, but these defenses have been sneaky good this year. So I got 26-24 Chiefs. Really, I'm usually a matchup guy, and I could see the Bengals winning because of this matchup. The Chiefs are going to play, they're going to blitz. They're going to play some man coverage when they blitz. They'll also run some cover too. Joe Burrow has been kind of beating up the blitz, beating up the man coverage, and it helps that he has a wide variety of receivers that know how to beat man coverage. One of them's bound to get open, in a rep against man. So that kind of sides towards the Bengals. They also have the defense to maybe slow them down a little bit. But the Bengals haven't really executed fully against the top teams, and I'm not trying to take a shot against the Bengals here. I like the Bengals. I think this could be the team of the future, and they're dangerous right now. AFC's wide open if they just get in. But they got to step up again. They get hot and they get cold when they play the better teams, and they get hot again and then they get cold again. So can I trust them to stay consistent here, fresh off a pretty good win against the Ravens? The Ravens are a good team. They beat them up twice. And it's a similar style matchup in terms of how the Chiefs play defensively, but Chiefs are just a different animal right now. The Bengals do a good job stopping a run first and then kind of focusing on the pass, putting the teams in the obvious pass situations, but the Chiefs aren't really a running team anyways, so maybe a different challenge here. I like the Chiefs 26-24, just feel like the better team right now, even though I do like the way the Bengals are playing, and they're very dangerous. It's a true test. Can they stay consistent? And then when playing the good teams here, we will see. But should be a pretty good game. 5 seems like a lot in terms of the spread there. I think it'll stay close. Squeaker, 1-point game. Dolphins, Titans. I was gonna pick whoever was home in this game. If this was in Miami, I would pick the Miami Dolphins in a squeaker, 17-16 probably. I think the home field advantage is big in this one. Instead of being pretty warm in Miami, I heard it might snow. It might be cold in Nashville here, and that could help the Titans out. But look at these teams, two great defenses. I mean, top of my head, who's playing the best on defense right now in football? Cowboys, Titans, Dolphins, two of the three in there. So two great defensive teams. They both like to take the ball away here. When the Titans have lost, they've been a bit sloppy with the ball, and the Dolphins can create those sloppy plays. So it'll be a reason for the Dolphins to win. But I like both defenses pretty evenly. They're different the way they play, but I like them pretty evenly in this game. I'm just going to go with that offense at home, that I think can make that extra play. Thinking of Ryan Tannehill to A.J. Brown, maybe they make that extra play. But I think a defensive game. I think it's going to be about, I think there's going to be turnovers, both sides. It's going to be who makes that extra play here. We know the Dolphins are going to bring the blitz on Ryan Tannehill, see how he plays against it. It's tough. There's a lot of quarterbacks where it's like, all right, this guy dominates the blitz. This guy plays pretty poorly against the blitz. Tannehill's that guy where it's kind of a mixture of both. He might throw that interception against the blitz, might panic too early, might stay in the pocket, not try to escape, or sometimes he rolls out and escapes it and he runs himself, or he makes that big throw to A.J. Brown. So we'll see. I'm going to go with the Titans. I'm going to ride the Titans in this one. Should be a great game. This is a tricky one, another tight game as well. It's a tricky one. The line changed last I saw. The Colts go from 7.5 to 1.5 favorites with the possibility of Carson Wentz being out and Sam Ehlinger being the quarterback. It could change again here. This is tough. Carson Wentz could come back because the new rules, the guidelines here. I'm almost thinking he doesn't though. So this is kind of a score prediction without Carson Wentz, and I could see myself switching to the Raiders at any given time here. If we'll get this out of the way. If Carson Wentz plays, I'm gonna pick the Colts to win. Not by a lot, but fairly. They'll be comfortable. 7-point win, 10-point win, somewhere around that range. I'm kind of leaning toward he doesn't play. And again, I could change my mind. Trying to argue both sides here. If it's Ehlinger that's playing quarterback, first thought is really a 6th-round rookie. Is he really going to beat a team that's trying to get in the playoff? It's going to be real tough. They'll be one-dimensional, which they have been at times this year. The Raiders, maybe they'll be able to blitz him, throw him off a little bit, create some turnovers. Because I'm not really a big Ehlinger guy. Maybe a lot of people out there really aren't. He's a tough kid, can run. So you may think, for those reasons, we saw Ian Book have to step in. That didn't go well for the 4th-round rookie quarterback. So that'd be reasons for the Raiders. The Raiders last week, they played the Broncos with Drew Lock in there. Pretty good rushing team in the Broncos, but they stacked the box. They completely stopped the run, and they forced Drew Lock to beat them. Couldn't do it. That could be the same case here against Ehlinger, but it is a different animal. Jonathan Taylor, the Colts offensive line, and the Colts system and play calling than compared to the Broncos. But you can argue that could be the case. But why the Colts might still be in business even with Ehlinger is, well, again, Frank Reich, the system, the offensive line, Jonathan Taylor. But we talked about Ian Book coming in. It was a disaster, but that's the Dolphins. Dolphins have the best blitz defense in football. Blitzing is just the best thing to do against inexperienced quarterbacks. It is. The Raiders blitz the least in the NFL by far. By far. That's not good. They're missing they possibly, and the guidelines opens things up, but they possibly could be missing a lot of defensive players. So that's a problem as well. Raiders offense isn't playing that great. Colts defense going to get some guys back. They're playing pretty damn well. So it's kind of back and forth here. I don't think the Raiders present that many problems to really throw off Ehlinger, throw off this offense. They still have to stop Jonathan Taylor, and I don't know if the Raiders offense can do enough here. So I got the Colts 19-17. It's a tricky one, though. I can argue both sides. Let's see if Wentz is playing. Let's see if the number of Raiders defensive guys, Perriman, Littleton, Hayward, they're among the players. So that's pretty tough. If the Raiders were a pretty good blitzing team or even a decent blitzing team or even just comfortable, experienced doing it, I might be leading with the Raiders, but they are actually at the very bottom. That's key here. Maybe they're just going to go all out and just do it. Hey, let's just do it. And then just throw the Colts off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Another argument is Carson Wentz doesn't really do anything anyways. He just hands the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. Sometimes he struggles. They still win. Part of that's true. Part of that's not. He doesn't just hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. Even in the games where he struggles, he still kind of makes that big play. He changes plays at the line as well. Will Ehlinger be able to do that? He'll probably. Wentz is a guy that, yeah, he needs things to be great around him. He needs the great running game, but he doesn't need his hand to be held, I don't think. Ehlinger, 6th-round rookie, he's probably going to need his hand to be held a little bit by Frank Reich, and they're capable of winning doing that. But that could be the reason. I can argue both sides, as you can tell here. So for now, I'm going to go with the Colts. I wish the Raiders' defense was better suited to just dominate this game and create a bunch of turnovers. They can be. We'll see. Not a squeaker. I got the Patriots bouncing back here 27-10. Don't trust the Jaguars. Patriots defense been struggling. They're going to be just fine. They're going to look like that Patriots defense against the Jaguars offense. They're going to create some turnovers. They're going to get pressure. Judon could be out. Don't think it changes a whole lot. Patriots offense, I don't think it will do a crazy amount here, but they'll be put in good position by their defense. 27-10 Patriots. Another one, I got the Buccaneers 31-13. Handling, but Jets been playing a little better football, but this is tough. The Bucs are gonna blitz the crap out of Zach Wilson. It's what they do, and they'll score. They're gonna score just fine. I think Ronald Jones Keyshawn Vaughn had a pretty good game last time. But I think Ronald Jones runs pretty well in this one. We know Brady will be fine when they need to throw. I got a big win for the Buccaneers. I just don't like the matchup for the Jets, even though them and Zach Wilson playing better ball right now. I just don't like the matchup. Tight one here, squeaker. 24-23 Eagles. I think, I think it'll be a good game. I think Washington can win. It's just tough to pick Washington right now, just with the mess that's going on with them, just getting their ass beat to the Cowboys in primetime football, getting up 56 points. The defense starting to step down a little bit. Heineke starting to decline a little bit because teams are game planning for him, figuring out. We got key players fighting on the sideline. So tough to go at Washington. They just played on Tuesday. Was that not last week, the week before? Or that was last week. That was last week. And then they were up in that game, and they kind of let it slip away. They were actually creating turnovers, but then the offense just couldn't do enough. They did something off those turnovers, but they just couldn't do enough in general. But Garrett Gilbert was playing quarterback in that game. So definitely changes things when Washington gets all their guys back on offense and defense. I think the Eagles just got a little more juice right now, maybe a little more energy, a little more momentum. So I got them squeaking this one off. Hurts has got to be careful with the ball here, but I got them. I could see Washington just because Eagles really haven't seen them full strength yet. They just play. It's kind of weird. They just played, and now they're going to play again, and now they're going to be full strength. They're close to, so that makes it interesting. But it's just tough to pick them. So I'm going to go Eagles in a very tight one. I can see Washington win that game. If Washington wasn't fresh off, and I shouldn't really base things off that. I never really do, but. Man, fresh off, giving up 56 points, looking like a disaster. Heineke playing worse. Again, the teammates fighting on the sideline. Fresh off all those things combined, it's tough to pick them, but I can see them winning at the same time. Rams and Ravens, I got it finishing right around that line. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's weird because the total on this game is under 50. So what is Vegas seeing, that I'm not? Maybe because it's going to be real cold out, but so I could be wrong on the total on this one. But the main difference and why the Rams will win and why I think it'll be high scoring is the Ravens' depleted secondary is struggling to stop the deep ball. They're struggling to stop passes downfield. We saw that against the Bengals, which they just air it out. They air it out and they have a collection of targets. The Rams, Stafford, what does he do? He airs it out. He has a collection of targets through the receiver position, even the tight end. So I think they'll be fine scoring points, throwing downfield. Maybe the cold affects Matt Stafford. He was a little sloppy with the ball sometimes last week actually. So maybe he turns the ball over. If the Ravens had, maybe if they had Marlon Humphrey in this game, I'd pick the Ravens. So just missing that one guy actually could be the difference here. I think Lamar has success in his game back. I think he'll play. I'm expecting him to. Have the Rams been tested with like a Lamar type player here? Could argue Murray. I think it's different. So I think a high-scoring game. I like the Rams, though. I like the deep ball and their collection of receivers being the difference. Should be a pretty good game, though. The Ravens are tough to play no matter what, though. They know playoffs are on the line. So I can see, and Vegas kind of has it, too. Like, you would think the Rams would be favored by more in this, but I think Vegas has kind of the same mindset here that, it could be pretty close here. So it should be a pretty good game. The Rams should take care of business, but we'll see. Broncos, Chargers. Going with the Chargers. The last time they played the Broncos handled business. I liked the Broncos last time. This one was going to be tough, but now they announced that Drew Lock's expected to start again. So that's the difference to me. I still think close because the Broncos play very, very good defense. I've seen that they've given up, they've given up less points at this point this year, the Broncos defense, than they did the year they won the Super Bowl, which their defense was elite that year. So the defense is playing very, very well. They have Herbert's number here. So I think they have a pretty solid game. If Herbert and company just do just enough. But I just don't think Drew Lock has enough here. If it's Teddy Bridgewater, maybe I go Broncos here. But because they have that running game, and everybody can run the Chargers, so that they still could win. They still could win. The Chargers missing, well, they might be missing Mike Williams, Chris Harris, etc. These players, so it could be the difference. But I think the Chargers game plan adjust correctly, I should say. 5.5 seems like a bit there. Maybe it's because Drew Lock's in, but 2017 Chargers, it's a must-win for both teams, really, but I think the Chargers. Texans and 49ers, I was surprised by the 12.5 line. The Texans are actually pretty tough. They're playing pretty good football right now. I don't expect a whole lot of scoring in this one. Trey Lance coming in. Does that help or hurt the 49ers in this game? I could see Trey Lance being a little inconsistent throwing the ball, but is there really tape on him? Is there really a set game plan for him? He's going to be a problem running the ball with some read options. We know he's going to keep it. Is Elijah Mitchell going to come back to contribute there? So it might be tougher on the Texans to try to game plan for that. There could be some mistakes in the passing game here and there, but I got the 49ers 24-17. The Texans can't take them lightly. They're pretty tough. So 12.5 seemed like a lot. I didn't really see that, but I got the 49ers winning this one by a touchdown. Obviously a must win for San Francisco. They could actually win this game and then lose to the Rams next week and not get in. They have had success against the Rams, though, but we'll see. It's actually becoming interesting with the 49ers because of the Eagles, teams like the Eagles, the Saints trying to sneak up here. Next game, Cardinals-Cowboys. I got the Cowboys 27-24. This is an interesting one. The Cowboys have not allowed, 24 points. They've been playing top-tier elite defense, and the Cardinals have been struggling. They've been struggling offensively. But I think it's going to be close. I think the Cardinals could win this game, and it's mainly because of matchup. I think the Cowboys, even if the Cardinals win this game, my views really don't change much for either of these teams. It's just a matchup type thing for me. We'll see what happens in the game to make that final judgment. But the Cowboys run more man coverage than anyone, and they could do it. That's why. It's because they got the crazy pass rush, and they got playmakers in the back end that have the ability to play man coverage. And that's why it works. But Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, they want to face man coverage. It's kind of their dream here. What type of coverage? Because we know Murray's going to buy time. And I guess the question is, will he be able to buy the normal time he has against athletic Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory? And you probably could say that time could be cut down a little bit. But teams been they've been game planning correctly for Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, but they haven't really been able to cut his time down less. They kind of just been sitting out, containing a little bit, making him sit. They want him to stay in the pocket. Don't let him get all the way outside, and that's been the solution, but in terms of man coverage, if Kyler Murray can get hit by his normal time, guys can't cover one-on-one single coverage forever. There's nobody in the NFL that can do it, not even Jalen Ramsey, So if he's able to scramble and get outside to his spots and by that normal time, guys will be open. Even without DeAndre Hopkins, they will get open. But I do love the Cowboys pass rush. I think Micah Parsons will create a play, get into him, shorten that time just enough. And I do like the Cowboys offense. I think they'll be able to have some success here just enough. It's one of those where honestly the matchup might side towards not who's better, who's worse. The matchup might side towards the Cardinals there. But the Cowboys are hot. They feel like a number one team in football, where the Cardinals are completely cold. So it's tough to pick against the Cowboys right now. It really is. It's what it is. But if the Cardinals win, I'm going to be like, yeah, honestly, it kind of makes sense. So it's one of those games I'm really looking forward to here to see how it happens. And maybe the Cowboys don't run all that man coverage they normally do. So we'll see. Maybe they try to throw them off. Good news for the Cardinals is they're away. They play a lot better away. So we'll see if that plays a part as well. If the Cardinals win this game, we're going to be thinking, they match up well against those man coverage teams, and they match up well when they play away. That's what we're going to be thinking when they win, if they win this game here. If the Cowboys go and dominate this game, I'm going to be impressed. And there's probably people out there that probably won't change their opinion because the Cowboys been dominating teams. Cardinals are cold. I look at the matchup. The Cowboys go out there and dominate this game. I'm going to be hyped for the Cowboys. I'm going to be on that Cowboys train for sure. I kind of already am, but so that's going to be interesting to see how this game unfolds. Panthers and Saints. The Panthers got them last time. That was way earlier in the year. I'm assuming Taysom Hill's the quarterback with this. If Ian Book's the quarterback, I'm not really so sure how they can handle it. The Panthers probably blitz him a lot. You would think Taysom Hill would be ready to go. I got the Saints. I like their defense a lot. I don't think the Panthers will be able to do much offensively. They haven't been able to do much offensively. I got them scoring 13. And if it's Taysom Hill, I think he'll have success running in this game. I think it'll be a lot of running clock. I think both teams try to run the ball. Panthers will probably maybe try to get some screens, end arounds, just quick slants, run the ball, try to win the time possession game, their only shot to win. Again, the Saints will run Kamara. They'll run Ingram. They're going to run Taysom Hill. Give me a lot of running clock. I like the Saints in that type of matchup where their defense will shut things down and they'll be able to run effectively while running the clock. So 23-13 to Saints is what I got. They're favored by 7. Lions and Seahawks. I can see the Lions winning this game because they've been playing better ball when Jared Goff's in there. I mean, they played better ball without Jared Goff. They could have won that game against the Falcons. I think if Jared Goff played, they probably would have won. They're playing better ball. They are. They shut down Russell Gage last week. They've been doing a good job shutting down some receivers. And then on top of it, the Seahawks are out of the playoffs for the first time what it feels like forever, even though it's not the case. But so does that mean they don't have anything to play for? Do they lose energy? It's a team that's a lot of guys with that mindset where this sucks. We need to be in the playoffs. So do they don't care? It's one of there's a few teams I can see like that. I'm not predicting that to be the case, but so could they just lose all focus and energy, momentum, any of that, and then do the Lions win because of that? I can see it. Also could see like Seahawks, like there's no pressure. Let's just go out there and friggin' play. Let's go out there and just figure things out here. Get on a positive note going on to next year. It's tough to pick the Lions pretty much, even though they're getting better, but all year. I think Rashad Penny could have a pretty good game here. Seahawks defense still can create turnovers, so I'll take the Seahawks 24-20. I was surprised by that 7 line. The Lions have been dominant covering spreads, and this is one to me that it should be a little bit closer here. So Lions maybe +7, looking pretty good, looking solid right now. Vikings and Packers. Vikings got them last time. Packers scored 31 and lost. I think this time they scored 31 and win. 31-24. It's one that I'm pretty damn confident with the Packers. Like I am very confident with the Packers in this one, actually. But I don't think, usually when you're that confident, you think a blowout, big win. I don't really think it'll be that. I think it'll be comfortable. Vikings trying to play keep up, 31-24. I think Rodgers, Devontae Adams' offense will have plenty of success against the Vikings defense, primetime in Lambeau. The question is because the Packers defense has been playing, it was a top 5, maybe even top 3 defense at one point, maybe halfway through the year. It is nowhere near that right now. Nowhere near that. So the Vikings, they're up there in offensive production, but they kind of went a little cold the last few weeks, and it's prime time. They usually get a little cold in the cold in prime time. So I can argue that both ways. The Vikings offense kind of just shuts down. It's just not good in prime time, not good at this point of the season away in Lambeau. But the Packers defense struggling. We know the Vikings offense is capable of with Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, so they could thrive and they could score a lot of points. I just don't see them winning this game. Prime time in Lambeau, I just don't see it. So I got a Packers win by 7 here. Alexander activated, Jair Alexander, which is big for the Packers. I don't think he plays in this game, though. That's big for the Packers. Monday night, squeaker. I went Browns. Vegas has the Browns favored by 3 as well, which I was kind of surprised, but not surprised at the same time. It just reminds me of the Vikings-Steelers game a few weeks ago. I was kind of surprised the Vikings were favored, but then I was like, then again, the Steelers can't stop the run this year. The Vikings got that outside zone run, and that might be what Vegas is thinking. And then the Browns and the Vikings have these same exact offenses. They have the same exact offenses. It's going to be on Stefanski. If he watched that, I don't know if he even needs to watch the Vikings tape. But if he watched it and he understands what beats the Steelers and what works for him in any matchup for the Browns, it's Browns football. Run the football. Outside zone runs. Do it. If they do that, and they do a lot of it, they are going to win this game. The Steelers aren't really going to be able to slow it down. Steelers could stack the box. They didn't really stack the box against, compared to the Vikings. Maybe they respected Kirk Cousins, and maybe they don't respect Baker Mayfield. So they stack the box, take away the run. That would be how they win. Stacking the box doesn't guarantee you to stop Nick Chubb and company, though. So the Browns should, and I like the Browns defense. The Steelers offense gets so cold sometimes that I just don't see them scoring a ton of points. So if the Browns win, it'll be because they did what worked. They ran with the outside zone. They ran the ball. It doesn't have to all be outside zone runs. It could be you just run the damn ball. And they went with what worked, and the defense played their normal game or around that range. That'd be why the Browns win. If the Steelers win, it's because it would be because they stacked the box and they were successful, because, again, it doesn't guarantee it. They slowed down the run early in this game, or maybe they got the ball first and they went and scored, and they slowed the run early in this game and forced the Browns in uncomfortable situations. Stefanski's been easy to go away from things, unfortunately, this year, where they make Baker pass, they pick him off a couple times. That could be why. Another reason, I think Mike Tomlin, I guess last year would make argue against this, that the Browns kind of clutched up and beat the Steelers in crunch time. But it still feels like, playoffs on the line, must win, Monday night in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin, the Steelers, they're kind of used to winning in these situations normally. Browns usually choke in these type of situations. So that would be another reason I consider the Steelers winning. So it'd just be about Stefanski calling the right plays here and Baker being a little more careful with the ball. So we'll see if that's the case. That should be a pretty good one. I think it'll be tight, though, because I could see the Browns kind of going away from the run mistakenly and then Baker kind of throwing an interception maybe to keep the Steelers in. But we'll see. Should be a pretty good one here. A lot of squeakers this week. Excited for it. Playoff atmosphere. I'm just kind of ready for the playoffs, though. Cannot wait for that content. So join us for that. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Follow our Twitter. Link down below for that. Also, pin in the comments link to recent videos that are for this week, week 17. But that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.